been a disaster. I'm sure you've been hearing. Even now, some of these businesses are.
So, welcome everybody. I'm going to start with a question. What do you think of this place? It's all right, isn't it? Yeah, I like it too. It's all very new, all very modern. In fact, they only opened it earlier this year. I think they've done a very good job. It reminds me a little bit of the TARDIS, which makes sense in a way, what with the Dalek building just being over there. I'm not the doctor though. You can call me the gardener. In fact, I've just been trying to find somewhere to plant my little friend down here. Can you see any good spots for him? No, there's not a lot of choice, is there? I mean, that's the thing. It's all very concreted over out there. Even the planting beds by the side of the river, well, they've all got very shallow bottoms, so there's nowhere for the little fella's roots to go. Nobody wants a shallow bottom, do they? And that's the problem. It's all very nice, all this shiny metal and glass and plastic. It's all very nice, but it's all very man-made, all very hard. For example, if you imagine that this watering can is full of water, and you'll have to imagine, I'm afraid, because for health and safety reasons, we're not allowed to have actual water in the train station. Well, what would happen if we poured some of this water on the floor? Would you mind obliging me? Lovely. So what's going to happen to all that water? It's just going to sit there, absolutely right. And eventually some poor cleaning lady will come along with an imaginary mop and mop it all up. Go in a bucket, down a drain, and before long it'll end up in the river. But what happens if we pour that water on this little fellow? What's going to happen then? It'll drink it up. It'll sink down into the earth will soak it up, and the plant will drink it up. They call that soft engineering, or you might just call it nature. But that's the thing, isn't it? If you give the water somewhere else to go, then it won't just end up in the river, and the river won't get so high. So what we need out there is a few more places where we can plant some trees, a few more patches of earth and grass. I mean, why are there so few green spaces in the middle of the city? After all, who doesn't like plants and trees and flowers? The first thing to do to mitigate flood risk in this city would be... Well, no. Actually, the first thing to do would be to get into an actual TARDIS, go back in time 300 years and start all over again. Give the river space to just be a river, instead of hemming her in with goits and channels, bricks and mortar. We've put the poor thing into a concrete straitjacket, so it's no wonder in a way that she gets angry sometimes. Now, I'd like to take you back in time a little bit, so if you'd like to follow me, we're going to head down into the dark arches.
Do you mind carrying my friend there? Service to Ilkley. Just this way, ladies and gentlemen.
So here we are in the dark arches. Back in the 19th century, the driving heart of the Industrial Revolution. Back when they thought it'd be a good idea to just cover the river over with a train station. And up there, upstream, up past the light at the end of the tunnel, well, up there you've got Keighley, Bingley, Shipley, Skipton, all the places whose names you hear read out on the train timetables upstairs. Because you see, the Aire Valley line follows all the way along the river, and the water, the flood water, is coming down from those places, down the valley into Leeds. So, if you imagine that Gerald here is the river network, where we are now, the main River Aire, well, that's the trunk. But further upstream, you've got all these little becks and tributaries, all the water coming down off the moors and hillsides, into the river, and then down into the city. So what we need to do is keep some of that water up there, upstream in the land. What we want is a water travel network that is the slowest, most frustrating, winding, stop-start journey that you can possibly imagine. Instead of what we've got now, which is essentially an expressway that funnels the water down into the city. So what can we do? Well, we could We could fill in some of the old drainage ditches up on the moors. We could plant some more trees up there. Create some natural obstructions, places that are designed to flood and hold some of the water. The solutions are all right there in nature, and it's an awful lot cheaper than building walls. So what we need is a little bit of networked thinking, instead of paving over our gardens to park our cars. We can't actually go back in time, but we can try and imagine a slightly more green-fingered future. Anyway, it's time for you to be on your way. Oh, and as you go, if you spot anywhere I can plant this little fella, you'll let me know, won't you?